I'm just Jay.
And I'm T.
And together with Ozzie, we have packed the car and are driving to Belize. Come join us on our journey. Morning!
Morning.
Day 4 on our drive to Belize. And it's a little bit later this morning than we've talked to previously because we had some running around to do this morning. So sun's up a little higher, coming from in front of us now instead of getting that sunrise in the morning, which we have seen in previous videos. So since we talked to you yesterday, we left Chugwater, Wyoming, yesterday morning, and by the end of the day we've driven through 4 states.
Wyoming, Colorado, New Mexico, and Texas.
That's right. And now we'll be in Texas for a couple days, really.
Yeah.
Well, till the end of today, anyway. Yesterday got up, got out of the hotel, tried to find a place for breakfast. We always try to look for little landmarks or roadside attraction, rest stop kind of places, but places that aren't super busy, but maybe have a little bit of history that we can learn. But we had some trouble finding a place to eat breakfast yesterday because from Chugwater, we went into Cheyenne. I think I'm confused.
Nope. Cheyenne. We passed through Cheyenne.
You passed through Cheyenne? Okay. Well, I don't know why we had trouble finding a place to eat, but we ended up into Colorado pretty quick.
Yeah, we waited till northern Colorado. We thought it would be very much like southern Wyoming. It's not.
It's not. So almost immediately when we crossed the border, we went from almost bare highways to traffic. It was crazy how it happened right at the border.
And then a lot of frontage roads and industry right along the interstate.
Yeah, we were on the interstate, and I guess we were probably going through Denver close to maybe rush hour, but we just couldn't find a place to get off the interstate that wasn't super busy, full of industrial, full of businesses, full of homes. We pretty much almost went right through downtown Denver.
Yep.
So went through Denver and all of its little suburbs, I guess. Eventually, before we hit Colorado Springs, we just found a little side road. I don't even know what to say. There was just a little pull-off that we found on a side road. There was doing like some gravel trucks were down in the...
kind of just past the state park by a gravel pit.
Yeah. And it turned out to be really good. It was kind of a large parking area, and we had something to eat. And then we got back on the interstate and kept going. So we went to Colorado Springs for groceries.
And we said it's quite busy, but it's all very manageable. Getting through Denver, it was traffic's a little hectic, but it's well managed. And other than getting a little congested by times, you just stay on the interstate. It's super easy to get through.
Yeah, for sure. So Colorado Springs, we found a Walmart and picked up some groceries, got some other supplies, some water and such, and then hit the road again and left Colorado. So right before we left Colorado, actually, I guess we did stop for lunch.
Yeah.
Kind of found an interesting spot. It wasn't on the map. It was just sort of surprising. We saw a sign that said Lamar Massacre Monument or Memorial.
Yeah, Memorial.
Lamar Massacre Memorial. And I mean, how could we turn that up? Kind of a neat little area there. There's some signs that tell you the history, and it was lots of room to park. There was virtually nobody there. Somebody had just pulled out when we got in. Really good place to sit down and have some lunch.
Yeah, and like room to turn around to make RV, or if you were traveling in a group to pull in there. Yeah, just a really nice spot. And there is a couple picnic tables and a shelter and stuff if a person needed.
Yeah, and not too far off the interstate, so that worked out really well. And while we were sitting there, we noticed the clouds that were rolling in, and we were quite grateful that we decided to stop when we did. We originally were going to wait till we got into New Mexico, but we got rolling again, and shortly thereafter we did cross into New Mexico and got the rains. There's a pass going from Colorado to New Mexico, and that's when the rains and the wind hit, and we had a bit of a storm.
Yeah, and lots of weather alerts yesterday. We were trying to listen to the local radio stations, and it was pretty steady. And we missed all the big storms, but it sounded like there was lots around.
We missed the big storms, but yet we still caught incredible winds. We originally talked about maybe the next trip down we would bring our kayaks with us, but we are rethinking that plan. With the little Qashqai that we're driving, putting the kayaks on there, the amount of wind that we have hit really almost the entire drive has been crazy.
Yeah, today's the least windy day at about 15-20 miles per hour.
Yeah. Stayed ahead of the storm, stayed ahead of the alerts, drove that little corner of New Mexico into Texas and to Amarillo. Spent the night in Amarillo at the My Place Hotel, which has very reasonable rates. It's right in there with all of the big hotels along the same strip. It's very clean, very nice, but it is budget price. I will say, however, though, the dog fee was a lot. So the price that we paid for us staying there, the dog fee was about 2/3 of that. So I was a little surprised about paying that. But it was a convenient place to have a dog, very dog friendly.
Yeah, it was, and lots of nearby restaurants, and the staff was extremely friendly. The room was much more spacious and comfortable than our previous night at the Buffalo Lodge
in Chugwater. And actually speaking of restaurants, we did order online and then walk over to pick up from a little Mexican restaurant there, Chuy, it's Chuy. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but decent tacos.
Yep, and legitimately good. Like a 3-minute walk, very handy. There was 2 steakhouses there. I think there was a chicken joint right there. So yeah, it's just super easy to get to off the highway and easy to get back on the highway today.
Yeah, for sure. And we did get back on the highway this morning pretty early.
In the dark.
Okay, there's a lot of construction.
All of Texas is under construction apparently.
Yeah, so if you're not familiar with the interstates and the frontage roads and stuff, we would be most comfortable traveling in the daylight. But we did leave this morning about 5:30, which was almost 2 hours before sunrise, because we had to get Oz vaccinated in the States before we left into Mexico. So we booked an appointment online and drove this morning 2 hours to Lubbock, where I had an appointment with a vet there. So with our trip is a little complicated because we are driving from a non-rabies country, Canada, through the United States, through Mexico, which is also, it's either no rabies or low risk, and then into Belize, which is considered a high-risk rabies country. So we had to be cognizant of the fact that we are planning on driving back in spring, and we're going to be doing a reverse through all those countries. So to get him back into the States, coming from a high-risk country, if he did not have a U.S. Rabies vaccination, we would be looking at getting titers done, etc. It's a lot more of a process. So got him vaccinated here in Texas and got an international health certificate that will get us into Mexico, through Mexico and into Belize, and then allow us with the rabies vaccination to go and reverse that and get back into the States again. So I got the rabies vaccine, the international health certificate, and I also had dewormer and ectoparasites as well. So all of that is on his certificate. That should mean smooth sailing for us to get through all of the border crossings.
Yeah, and if you weren't going as far as Belize, if you were just doing Canada, US, Mexico, your Canada vaccines would be
100%. Yeah.
As long as you were current.
Exactly. 100%. So, and speaking about that briefly, I'll just touch on that right now. I'll talk about it more but also had to make sure that we did have the proper permits to get him into Belize, which is you have to get through the Belize agricultural. It's Baja, I don't know. Anyway, it's the agricultural division of the Belize government there. So anyway, that should all be good for Oz to go. We are now on the road. We are hoping to get. Well, we should get to Eagle Pass tonight.
But yeah, if everything works out, we should, even with stopping for lunch, should be at Eagle Pass 5:30 without trying very hard. So
yeah, and we got some running around to do there tonight at Staples and such. Just make sure all our photocopies are in order. We've got some permits for Mexico that we need to get that we can talk about a bit more tomorrow, and getting our toll pass tonight as well. And so if all goes as planned, we should be driving.
Our Mexican insurance.
And our Mexican insurance we're going to purchase online before we hit the border tomorrow.
And printed.
Exactly. So we should all be good to go to cross the border tomorrow morning and start the Mexican leg of our journey.
We hope.
We hope. I don't know, we've never done this before.
So if there's no video shot tomorrow, it probably means we're running from the cartel and we just may not be able to make it. But hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully it all goes well.
It should go well. All right, well that's it. I'll do a quick pan. Oh, I should tell you, we wanted to pan this morning to show you, and then now of course they're all gone, but we have been crossing tons and tons and tons, or seeing tons and tons, acres and acres and acres of cotton. We think is cotton.
What we think is cotton.
What we think is cotton fields, as well as we think we've seen some tobacco fields.
Again, that one I'm a little less sure about.
And we also passed some sort of vineyard, we think.
We think, yeah. And 2 cotton gins, and the highlight of the day so far is we went past the huge Maseca plant.
Yeah, that was last night. Yeah, so
No, this morning.
Okay, that's right, early this morning. MESECA. So that is the brand of corn flour, basically, that we use to make our tacos and tortillas.
Yep.
So that was kind of neat, because we use Maseca all the time, so it was kind of neat to see where it's processed. But I will do a quick pan here and let you know what our view looks like here this morning, and then we will see you tomorrow morning for day 5.
Right.